Good to see everyone out there. Hey, Linda, how's it going?
It's going fabulous. One Zoom after the other.
I can't. Is it my volume? There it is. What was that? I'm sorry.
I said it's going fabulous. One Zoom meeting after the other today.
Awesome. So was this just a topic you were like, you know what? I need some.
Yeah, well, I've had some conversations with Jeremiah, and so I'm reworking my whole website situation. And I was paying for website service over and above our KW, and so I terminated that. And now I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to go. So I figured a nugget here that we haven't covered, and so I didn't want to waste his the give info that he can bring.
I love it. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Brittany, is it similar for you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just actually chiming in and listening and trying to see what I can learn. I'm brand new, so I'm on week 4. So I'm just trying to pick up everything I can. So.
And are you in our Sunset Corridor office?
I'm in Medford.
In Medford. Okay, well, great to meet you. I'm Aaron West. I'm the productivity coach of the Eugene Springfield office.
Nice to meet you. Finally, I've heard about you.
I know Mara very well. And we work closely together on the program and everything. So yeah, it's great to meet you too.
You too. Thank you.
Hey, Caitlin, how are things going with you today?
I'm good, thank you. Excited to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So what did you think of the open house class yesterday?
It was great. I really enjoyed it. I just loved her scripts. The way she spoke to people totally made sense and wasn't aggressive or, over the top or anything like that. I loved her scripts. It was wonderful. Everything that she had to say about speaking to people was fantastic.
Agreed. As many times as I've heard her talk about the way she does things, it's a great reminder every time. It seems kind of fresh every time. I think Linda probably feels the same way. Hannah's just fantastic. Her scripts are fantastic. Because they're not, we all have scripts, but it's not script in a bad way. That's just her being authentic and being a good person, a good real estate agent. She's just fantastic. And I kind of loved how she started it off yesterday too, and was like, sometimes I feel bad for agents when I go out to their open houses because I just feel like you're wasting your time. Like you should do it. And I just think that, we're so lucky to have Hannah around to kind of teach us the way on that.
Yeah, it's great.
Hey there, Tia. How are things going with you?
Hello, things are good. I agree with Caitlin yesterday. I really enjoyed Hannah's class with open houses. I am currently I just got the logins for my MLS, so I'm going to be doing that this week. And overall, once I have my business cards, I'm going to find somebody to shadow for open houses.
Wonderful. Can you remind me
up information?
What market center are you in?
I'm the Sunset Corridor, but I'm in Astoria.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, here comes Abby. Hey there, Lena. I think this is the first time we are seeing each other. How are you today? If you're able to unmute, that is.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fairly new. I'm at the Sunset Corridor Market Center, and this is my first month. So I'm with the PBG group.
Oh, okay.
Glad to be here to pick up some new information.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Good to have you.
Thanks.
Good to meet you. Hey there, Stephanie. How are things going with you?
Things are going well. Things are going well. I'm glad I was able to come on today. I still work Monday and Tuesdays at a doctor's office, so I have to watch those on record. So it's nice to be with you live on Wednesday. So
yeah, awesome. It's a whole different kind of experience live, even though it's the same information when you're just there in it as it's happening and you can ask questions. It's probably preferable to that. And it's been just unfortunate because of the way we had to do our schedule this time. There haven't been as many Wednesday and Thursday classes. And And that should actually go away pretty soon because I think we're going to go back to our 4-day-a-week schedule in not too long from now. Maybe next week, week after, something like that.
Yeah, it works out perfect. So Mara's been great getting me connected. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey there, Abby, if you're available to unmute, how are you doing? Here comes Corey. Okay, no worries, no worries. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, I'm just gonna let Corey join and I will hand things over to our instructor for today. He's coming. All right, there he is. Hey, Corey, good to see you. All right, so
You too. Sorry, I'm gonna cut my camera out for a minute because I want to spare you guys from watching me eat here.
no problem. So yeah, I'll hand things over to Jeremiah. And then today is capturing leads with social media, correct?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, take it away. Thank you for
Okay.
being here.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Okay, so first, a couple of housekeeping things. To introduce myself, I'm Jeremiah. I'm an XBN division director here with the brokerage/network, and I'm really excited to be with you guys here today to talking about capturing leads of social media. My experience in real estate comes mainly from running one of the most productive teams at KWSC as a DOO and COO, and marketing is definitely squarely in the middle of that experience. I'm excited both to provide information, to provide some guidance, some suggestion, but also to collaborate with all of you guys on this call on how you can level up your game and capture more leads with social media. So one other thing, I will actually talk about this fast the entire time. We have a ton of content and I get very passionate about making sure I give you as much information as you can possibly squeeze out of our time together. So if there's something that you missed, if I was speaking too fast, or if you want me to repeat myself, please take yourself off of mute and or raise your hand and say, hello, please slow down. I will say I have one tiny technical glitch today, which is just unfortunate, and that is that all of my screens right now are going to be occupied by this presentation, so I will not be able to see your smiling faces or to see you raising your hand. So it's imperative that you take yourself off of mute and ask the question, because I have to kind of like take the presentation off of presentation mode. So we're going to give that a whirl. Let's see if that works. I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and hopefully you guys can see this one. Is everybody seeing that so far?
Yep.
Are we good? Okay, cool. All right, so let's jump in. Any questions as we get started? I'd like to open up to the questions. Good. Okay. So if you are here for our Capture More Leads with Social Media, you are in the right place. I'm really excited, like I said, to be here. We're going to be talking about our 10, 5, and 1 engagement plan. We'll go over our 80-20 principle, and then we'll look at some strategies that you can employ on social media. And we've kind of already gone over our success systems. I've heard some successes today. I'm really excited. I want you guys to know that this is I expect it to be interactive. So I will be calling on you if you guys don't offer up information. Please feel free to come on camera as you'd like. Please also feel free to come off of mute as you can, barring kind of noisy environments and distractions. And yeah, let's get started. So today, again, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about our 10-5-1 engagement plan. We're going to be talking about your posting practices. We'll jump into social media strategies. We'll do a recap on AHAs, and then we'll talk a little bit about your daily success systems. Okay. So as we start our time together, I like this quote from Gary. It says, it takes some time to learn something, even more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. What are some ahas as we start our time together about this quote? Anybody? Really quiet.
I'll say something.
Yeah, Brittany.
You're gonna fail probably the first few times you try something new. So that's what doing it even longer means, is just keep doing it, even though you fall down.
Yeah, and I think that like Gary and Jay would tell you that failing fast is a real key to success, right? So you have those early failures that then guide and direct you in the right area. And that goes right into what we're going to be talking about today. Again, as a reminder, is finding ways to kind of fail fast toward a direction of capturing more leads with social media. As we start, before we get started, I just want to mention it is really, really, really important that when you're conducting any lead generation, that you must reference your Market Center DBA name. So it's not just Keller Williams or Keller Williams Realty in general. It must include the Market Center that you belong to. It must also appear everywhere that you're doing any kind of social or written media. So does anyone have questions about that? I'm happy to send out a link after this to the National Association of Realtors guidelines for posting if you would like, but just a reminder, please make sure you're doing all of your social media lead capture, advertising, and marketing in a compliant way and stay out of real estate jail. We've got a great compliance team that helps you do that, but God helps those in the health themselves, as it were. Benjamin Franklin. Okay. So let's jump into our 10-5-1 social engagement system as part of your daily system. You're likely liking, commenting, and direct messaging people on your social profiles. So you're executing 10-5-1 probably already. Who here wants to take a guess at what 10-5-1 stands for?
10 likes, 5 comments, 1 direct message, or
you got it, Laura, for the win there. So our 10-5-1 social engagement is going to be 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message. Now, a couple of things I want to mention as we get started is just to remember for yourselves that social media is a really powerful tool that you can use to expand your sphere right from your smartphone. You can engage followers, but also build this big SOI, right? And it's all in the power of your iPhone. I'm going to say iPhone, even though I don't have one. I think it's fun. Okay, so let's talk about 10-5-1 and start with likes. So like every day we're recommending, or like best practice is really that you're doing at least 10 of these, where you go onto someone's page or someone's profile and you like 10 things or you love 10 things from their profile. This can be on Instagram, it can be on Facebook. You can even do it on TikTok, Reels. And what's the other one I'm missing, folks? I'm missing one more. So let's talk about how to make that powerful. So when you're thinking about liking something, what makes sense to you in terms of like, do we just go through our feed and just like a bunch of random ones? Do you think that makes sense for us and for our time? If we're intentional agents thinking about building our business and growing our SOI, does it make sense just to like scroll randomly through a feed and click likes? Yes or no? Yeah, no, probably not. Now, I'm hoping that as you've built out your social media and you're starting to look at the feeds of people that you're going to like, that those are also people who are in your SOI. Is that fair? Let's go back a half step just to slow down a bit. And let me ask, is everybody following and or has their SOI following them on social media yet? Stephanie, if you can come off of mute, I'd like to know, are all the people in your SOI, have they been invited to comment, like, or subscribe to your page? Let's just use Facebook or Instagram. I don't care. Stephanie.
Well, I'm not friends with everybody on Facebook
Mhm.
that are in my sphere of influence. So those that are, I'm friends with them. I don't have a real estate Facebook page. So is
Okay.
that something that we should do, or?
Yeah, so I mentioned this a couple different times. There's 2 really interesting schools of thought on this. I would say that a majority, as you're skipping ahead to the end of this presentation, but a majority of the posts that you're going to be doing hopefully have some personal perspective, right? Because people want to do real estate transactions with other humans, not with robots, right? So I'm hoping that most of what you're posting is going to be personal. I would say you need a business page for Facebook to run ads. Outside of that, I don't know if you have to have one to be successful. And the jury's still out on this because I'm running this experiment right now. Okay, so we talked about 10 likes. I don't want to get derailed because I tend to scroll really easily and I get super excited about all this stuff. So let's make sure we get through the content that we're required to get through here. Our next one is 5 comments. So I guess, first of all, I want to mention, beyond just doing your likes, your 5 comments are another way to engage with people in your social media sphere, right? And I want to make sure I mention, it does not need to be like an entire novel, right? This can be just a few words of encouragement, a congratulations, or just maybe letting someone know how much you appreciate them. Anything that you can do in your comment section on someone else's page to spread positivity and optimism goes a long way. So, how many of you have sat down to write a comment and it took you more than 30 seconds to write it? Corey, I saw your hand. So Corey, I think that's probably because we tend as agents to overthink everything we do, right? Because we appreciate that, like on social media, like who we are and what we say is also our business brand. And so we've got to be careful about that, all right? Here's what I will tell you. You're all overthinking it. Your comment section should take you less than 30 seconds to write, and you could write the same comment on multiple feeds if you wanted to. Maybe you just pick a day, systematize it and say, hey, today is Wednesday, so today's Appreciation Day. So all my comments will be appreciation based. And you know what? I'm going to choose 3 different ones, and that's the only ones I'm going to use. So it's going to be like, let's say I went to Corey's page, because Corey raised your hand, so I get to pick on you now. So, hey, Corey, you posted something about, take yourself off mute and tell me something you would post so I can comment.
Are you talking? I'm not sure I understand the question, Jeremiah. Something
What did you
personal?
post on social media today?
Something on my
Corey?
real estate or?
Sure. Yep. There's no wrong answer. What did you
Oh,
post
okay.
today?
My baby turned 21 months old a couple days ago. I'm proud papa, which is actually true.
Oh my gosh, can't get enough of this cute baby. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. Or if I want to make it more personal, Corey, this is so exciting, exclamation point. You are going to be the best dad, exclamation, exclamation point, like muscle icon. So as I mentioned that, like, it does take practice to get good at the comments, but it should be very, very quick, and you should be able to do it from your smartphone. Now, I tend to do it behind a desktop because I'm old and lazy, but I would tell you that, like, most people do it from their smartphone. If you can do it there, then you're hitting the right theme. Okay, so let me ask a follow-up question now of the group here. What is a comment that you've received on social media recently that made you feel really like seen and heard? Will someone venture? Oh, I hope people are commenting on your pages, something that makes you feel seen and heard. But tell me something that you've heard recently or seen that made you feel like it was very personal and you were seen and heard as an individual.
When they agree with what I'm saying.
Ooh, Caitlin, I love that. How did that go? What was it like?
It was, I posted a meme about being a mom because I have a bunch of small kids, and I posted something about Bluey's mom's car being a mess. And then I got a ton of comments on it saying that they all agree and their cars are messy too. And it made me feel
okay, I wasn't crazy. I'm going to tangent just for a second for all the parents on the call. If you've not watched the show Bluey, if you have small children, like you will.
It's the best thing in the world.
T-shirts made up that said, I want to be like Bandit, right? Like I want to be a dad like Bandit. Like it's an incredible show. Also, like I'm learning all my life lessons about being a parent from that show. So thank you to whoever creates that. Yes, I love that. And what happened there was, like, when they agreed with you, like, could you guys also agree with people on social media? Could we agree with people even and not agree with the premise of their post, right? So let's just say they post something, let's say maybe controversial. You know that you can post on that. You can add to that comment like, oh, Corey, great to see you posting on here, man. Congratulations. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to say whatever you posted is awesome. I'm just saying, Corey, you are great. I'm glad that you're voicing your concerns in an open public forum, if that's appropriate. Okay, so are we good with 5 comments and how concise our comments should be? We feel good about providing comments to other people. Let's pick on somebody else. I can't see everybody. So Brittany, I know you're here. So Brittany, give me a comment you might add to, I posted a new listing today.
Wow, that looks amazing. Gosh, I don't know.
So for other agents, and I do this in my world a lot. So for other agents who post listings, a suggestion for you is, wow, that house is super gorge, like the house icon or whatever, like go get them, exclamation point. Because I want to make sure that I'm always making about the person, not about the house, right? So as an agent, I know that you're working hard to get that house on the market. So I'm trying to highlight that you are awesome, right? Like you are great. Not just that there's a house on the market, like that's not that important, but it's a way I can show up in your comment section in a really positive and lighthearted way. Okay, so we've got our 10 likes. That seems easy, right? For the intentional people who are in our SOI. We've got our comments, and now we need to send a direct message. Okay, so every day I think you're probably creating an original post. Please say yes. And whether that's like something that you create or something that you share someone else's post, or perhaps direct message to it, this all counts for this one share direct message original post. Does that make sense? So you do not need to reinvent the wheel as an example. I know tons of content creators that do nothing than steal other people's content and write about it, right, on their page as though it's something. So it's essentially a, what do they call those? The advice pages that in the, in the newspapers, where it's an op-ed, right? It's an opinion. They didn't create any of the content. They just gave their opinion on it. That also counts as a way that you're creating original content. I know original sounds crazy when you're stealing someone else's content, but it doesn't matter. So when you're writing either like a private message or a direct message, I want you guys to think about the way that you show up as caring about that human, or caring about that cause, or caring about whatever's been posted. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's dive into that. How could we show up in an inbox as a direct message or share something that feels personal, right? Or that's going to let people know that you care. Now, this is caring about people, it's caring about your community, it's caring about your industry. It can be all of those things. How might we show up that way? Laura, how about you? What would be a post or a share that you might do today, right, that will help you show up as a caring member of your community?
I think that posting the local Mother's Day event that's happening here in a couple days.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're having the Woodburn Mariachi come in and baile folklórico. So it's also like culture based, because today is Mexican Mother's Day. So Feliz Dia de las Madres.
Yeah.
And just inviting the community and, even others from around.
Okay, so let's break that down. If you were going to do, original post,
Sandy,
you're going to post some content. Make sure that the content, whatever it is, so if it's an event, a fundraiser, a quote, an inspirational thing, whatever you're going to do, make sure you pull it back into being personal to you, right? We're not just going to post something out into the world that we don't care about or that there's no connection with. We want to use the post as a way for people to get to know us better. I think that I'm actually like giving you guys secrets that are later in the presentation too. But my point there just is make sure as we're posting that or we're sending that direct message that it feels personal. That's the intention. I care about you as a human. It's personal to me because I'm connected with this cause, or I'm connected with this event, or I'm connected with you as a person, and make sure that comes across in that message, right? So it can be something as like, is it someone's birthday? Send them hey, Brittany, I saw that it was your birthday. My Facebook people tell me it's your birthday today. Just want to make sure that you know that I'm hoping you're having the greatest birthday on earth. I can't wait to hear about everything that you're doing. Now make it about a lead. I can't wait to hear about everything that you're doing on your birthday. I'll call you later so you give me all the details. I just set an appointment. Did you guys hear that?
You are slick.
Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about is our 80-20 principle. But before we move on, I want to hear ahas about 10-5-1. Questions about 10-5-1.
I think that like how you're an expert commenter, by the way. But just how you say, like, don't overthink it.
Right.
I mean, I think that even sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've spoken to this person, but you want to make that comment like, wow, it looks great, without having to do that. Oh, hey, sorry, I haven't talked to you in a while, blah, blah, like that catching up. It has to be quick.
No, that's not what that's not what the comment's for. The comment is not for your like apologies. Do that over the phone, right? Call if you're going to do that, if you're going to like send a DM, and maybe that's your reminder to call them. You send them a DM, and then you have that internal like, oh gosh, I just DM'd this person and I haven't talked to them in like 5 years. That's embarrassing. Then you pick up the phone and you say, hey, Laura, it's Jeremiah calling. I DM'd you the other day to wish you happy birthday and to congratulate you on this event that you're going to. And I realized, gosh, we haven't spoken in like 5 years. I apologize. Like, that's not how I want to live my life. While I've got you on the phone, gosh, what have you been up to? I'm so fascinated by all the things that are going on in your world. I, of course, follow you on socials, so I know that you're doing amazing things. Tell me all of things. At some point, we'll talk about real estate. Invariably, it happens. But my point is, if you're going to call with great news or bad news, which I think an apology would be, that's got to be over the phone. That's a rule for our business, and it doesn't have to be for yours, but it is for ours. Like if we're giving great news or bad news, it's over the phone. We're not doing that over social media. Social media is for like positivity, optimism, and just like joy. That's what you spread on social media every time you engage there. And people will know you that way too. So, okay, what other ahas?
It becomes addicting. It's very fun and engaging.
Yes. And when we're intentional about that practice, what you'll find is that, like a bold law, what you focus on expands. So as you focus on getting better at using social media, you will be better at using social media. Okay, we're going to talk next about posting practice. Specifically, we're going to look at that 80-20 principle. Who wants to guess what that 80-20 principle is? It's on the screen, so you don't have to guess. You could just tell me. Nobody. Okay. It's okay.
Well, yeah, 80% personal, 20% business, which sounds like what you, just to tie in with what you said earlier, Jeremiah, that you want people want to do business with a human being as opposed to, you know.
Yep. So I mentioned this because if you think about the 80-20 principle, this means that roughly 1 out of every 5 posts that you're making on your social media pages or your social media platforms is going to be real estate business related. The other thing I would mention, and it got brought up earlier, it was a really good question. And I'm gonna kind of split that into 2, is this is a great area of where like I would be posting to both my personal page and also to my business page, where the only place that my business posts go is on my business page. So you get to experience both versions, right, of Jeremiah, like his personal life, like family and home, and you also get to experience his professional life, which also has a lot of family and home on it. It just also includes what's happening in his business. 1 out of every 5 posts. Does that make sense? So let's talk about personal posts. Here are some ideas of what you can do as far as 80-20 is concerned. But I know, like, because this happens a lot, instead of like inundating your social media platforms with like all of your listing and business content, like find something that you really like enjoy. So these personal interest posts are a good idea. Find something that you're already connected with and interested in, and begin setting your brand and your posting content around that. So everybody's got something, and here's a part that's not on my list here, but I would like you guys to take a few minutes. And I know in your participation guides, you have a spot on this page for this. I want you to write down 5 things that you're really passionate about. We're going to take like 2 minutes, write down 5 things that you're really passionate about. It does not have to be things off this list. It can be, but it does not have to be. Write 5 things down. And then I'd like someone to share. And if no one volunteers, I will name a tribute.
I could share 3 things.
I love it, Tia. Let's do it. I was gonna tell you to cross out the last 2 anyway, so you're jumping ahead to the end game. Give me your top 3. What are your top 3?
Well, things that I'm passionate about is spending time with my family, quality time. I also have 4 dogs, so all of my routine and lifestyle is around being active.
Okay.
I am outside every day, so I'm very passionate about training them and seeing the progress. I'm also very passionate about teaching people, I guess, from a leadership standpoint, teaching people how to talk to others.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tia, let me ask you, of those 3 things that you listed, if you were to list that your number 1, what would be your number 1 most passionate thing? The thing you spend the most time doing, you're most interested in doing, and that energizes you or fills you up?
Training the dogs.
Okay. So, Tia, as a suggestion, I think that your posts should be, I think at least 50% of your posts, 50% of your 80. So if we were looking at that number, it's like 40% of your posts should roughly be about that passion. Do you think that's true on your social media platforms?
I actually don't use social media. I'm only going to be having a business page. I don't do it. I'm very in person. I'm a handshake person.
Okay. That's a coaching question. We're not going to go there. I'll get stuck in that question. That's okay that you don't use social media, but I will tell you, when you want to start using social media, an area that I would explore for you specifically around this dog training is all of the activities that you're doing as part of that passion. So I would love to see posts, and I am one of many consumers. I would love to see posts about you out with your dogs at the river. I would love to see what the tips and tricks you're using to make sure your dogs are learning the right things in the right order so that they become the best version of themselves. I would love to see the way that you're helping out at the shelters, because you explore that passion of bringing the teaching for dogs and also for humans in areas that you can, right? Those are all the things that I want to see. those posts would be really easy for you, right? If you think about it, like take your camera out while you're on a walk with the, the special trainer leashes, right? And take some photos, post them and say, hey, we're doing lead training today. Super excited. These dogs are making great progress. That's an easy post you could put up right now that would engage and edutain, as I like to say, the consumers who are going to be on your page, wanting to learn more about who you are and why they should consider using you professionally. I think there's a lot of parallels actually to herding and training dogs and working with some real estate clients, right? Because the emotions can be really high and the market is really tough. And so we have to guide them, lead them, if you will, wink, wink, right? Through the process of understanding how to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. Is that fair? All of that is a way to engage with your passion, at the same time connect it directly with what you do in business. Is that fair?
Yes, and then there's also plenty of locals that actually meet up on Facebook, and they have different specific groups of dogs that actually get along together. So that is my initial plan when I start my Facebook page, is to reach out to all of the people that I've met locally via the dog park, and then have meetup times.
Yes, and when you do that meetup time, make sure you take some photos and post those to social media. In addition, make sure you start your own Facebook group. There's a story from Built How a couple years ago. There's a gal who moved to Tennessee who joined this like California to Tennessee move group. And she bought the Facebook group from them and now is the only realtor in that group. They have like 100,000 followers or 100,000 people in that group now. And she's the only realtor because she bought the Facebook group and kicked all the other realtors out. I'm saying Facebook groups can be an amazing place for you to magnetize the people that are like you, who want to work with you in the same place at the same time. And you can be talking and engaging with them all the time through social media. It's a great idea. Okay, 80%. I want to talk with one more person. Who else will share at least one passion? I want to give one more example, and then we'll move on to our real estate business posts.
I will.
Brittany, go ahead.
I do a lot of sharing of humorous stuff.
Okay.
And then a lot of personal growth, self-love, health and beauty, that type of stuff.
Okay, but my question was, what are your passions? Not what are your Facebook group like memberships, but what are your passions?
Self-growth, for sure.
Self-growth.
Mindset, that kind of thing.
Love that. Okay, so I will tell you, sadly, and it makes me crazy, but it is also true. One of the highest highest engagement, highest like algorithm working themes is actually like inspirational quotes. If you want to build a Facebook page or a Facebook following, or even like YouTube following really, really fast, just do inspirational quotes every single day. You'll get a ton of followers. And then you can start shaping that page into whatever you want to once you've built that follower base up. Most people, once they subscribe to a channel or subscribe to a feed, they often don't move away from that feed. They don't unsubscribe often unless it's something very tragic. So as a plan, right, if you wanted to build a platform or build a channel from start to like from the ground up, that'd be a great way to do it. So Brittany, I would encourage you, because it's not only your passion, because it also makes a lot of sense algorithm wise, to get in there and to create a brand or a niche around like inspirational quotes and inspirational mindsets and things that are going to lift people up. People will be magnetized to that. And once your following reaches to a certain level, then you can start slowly shifting that content to include other things you're passionate about as well. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on to our real estate business posts. So 20% of your posts are going to be like self-promoting or posts about your business. So these are things like where you're speaking, awards you're won, events you're hosting, listings, that sort of thing. But let me ask you a follow-up question. How many of you understand the process of like how you create a real estate business post that's like subtle bragging, right? It's not overt, like it's not like I'm the best, look at the awards I won, but it's more so something to the effect of, just as from an award standpoint, I might say a picture of the award and say, it is unbelievable that we have won this award, and we are super honored to be the recipient of this. We know with certainty that the reason that we're able to do what we do is around the passion that we have for providing the highest level service and value to our clients. This award is for them because what we do is for them. Super pumped. Thank you guys. We're honored. Whatever. That could be a video. It could be a post. It doesn't even have to be that long. I mean, that was quite long-winded, but it doesn't even be that long. It could be something as quickly like, we're honored. Can't believe this happened. Clients make it happen. It's just like when you see people on like award shows, they're like, my fans made it happen. Same idea, right? So where you're actually talking about your business success and you're giving yourself social proof that your business is successful without actually overtly saying like, I'm the best, check me out. Does that make sense?
Graceful and humble.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's critical. I think in line with this, you can also be posting gratitude posts around your listings. Use this one for myself. You can, as an example, let's post your property that went pending. Maybe the post is actually a picture of the house that says pending. Underneath, your caption says, so grateful for these amazing sellers and the opportunity to serve them. This house is pending in 2 days over asking price. We're so honored. The other thing I'll mention to you is we're going to talk about a little bit is around authenticity. Like if you think it sounds cheesy, then it probably does. But if you're truly passionate about it and you believe in it, then it's going to come off as authentic. Does that make sense? Okay, great. Okay, so we talked about our 10%, and then we're going to do something that I personally think is kind of funny. We're going to talk about going above and beyond and 10% of community service. This makes, yes, for those of you mathematicians on the call, 110%, which is, impossible. I actually like to talk about this because when we talk about going over the top or giving 110%, it helps you show up as the real estate expert of choice, right? So I would suggest that you guys consider adding, about 10% more of the post that you normally would around community service. So when you think community service, what are some examples of what you might think of as a community service idea?
Well, for Red Day tomorrow, Southern Oregon, we're going to go to a local park and do a cleanup for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I love that. Red Day is a big community service posting opportunity. Yes. What else?
Anywhere you can volunteer, volunteer.
Yes, that's good too. And let people know where you're at and what they can do and how they can help. That's good too. Get agreement and get everyone together. It can also be things as simple as like property tax increases, school closures, animal shelters that need things that are in help. And my personal favorite is, because I'm really good in a crisis, is crisis. Right when we have like a natural disaster. Have you guys been through any crises in the last 5 years or so? Anybody experienced any global pandemics or any major wildfires perhaps or anything like that? I mention that because my team and I several years ago, when we had the really bad wildfires in Oregon, all our social media posts were dominated, like our daily posts were dominated by, here is what the experts say is happening with the fires. Here is where you go to get help if you're in any of these affected areas. If you need anything, call us. We are not having a conversation about real estate right now. We're having a conversation about humans. Please call us if you need resource. Like for probably 2 or 3 weeks, it was just every post that we set up was something about like, here's how to get to a resource. I say this because all of you have experience working in crisis. You all have experience working with really, really big, really, really hard things. And I want you to remember that that's an opportunity for you to show up in this community area. Show up as someone who is a valued member of your community that cares about what happens to the other humans in that community. And I guarantee you will set yourself apart from agents who are transactional focused. Agreed? Okay, let's hear some ahas about this, this social media posting practice for 80-20 principle. And then we're going to look at social media strategies next. What are some ahas? Linda, I think I saw that you were on the call. Is that true? Are you still there? If you are, what are some ahas for you from this section?
I am still here,
Yay.
Maya. Well, for one thing, I rarely post community service items. I'm an active poster on my personal page, and I do lots of gardening things because I have a half acre that's extensively landscaped, and so I've got something going on. And but so the other thing probably though is like one thing that I don't do. And I do post my listings, my just solds, all of that. I do that on my personal page as well. But I actually haven't done the gratitude post about so much about, it's more statistical about like, sold for 80,000 over asking, multiple offers kind of thing. But I don't actually do the gratitude thing to the buyers or sellers. So really important thing to do, and so that I'll certainly put that into I think that there was a lot of information about new things that I haven't done, even though I post a lot.
So when you're posting your listings or when posting your transactions, I recommend a couple of things. Number one is do be sure that you're asking your clients and informing them that like this is part of your practice, part of your business practice. And if they want to opt out, there's an option for that. The last thing you want is to put someone on blast on social media who has asked you not to do that, right? Or worse, that we never asked and we just did it and then we have to ask for forgiveness or take posts down. That's always weird. So make sure that we ask. And just let them know why you're doing it, right? It not only helps your business, but more so, it's a reminder of your commitment to providing high-level service. And this is how you do it. You appreciate and offer gratitude for people that are changing and growing your business. This is a direct conversation. Like the next words out of my mouth would be about a referral. So I'm just letting you know, like that conversation is a way for you to have a conversation about asking for a referral and letting them know you're going to continue to ask. So that's one thing. Number two is but I would suggest that you break it into 3 parts. So when the house goes live, that's one post. When the house goes pending, that's the second post. And that's where I would stick that gratitude. Gosh, these sellers are so amazing to work with. I cannot wait to work with more people like them. And then that's it. Then my sold post would be the one where I put all the data in, right? I'd put it like, continue to just love this real estate market. This beauty sold for XYZ, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 3, every listing has potentially at least 3 pieces of content for your marketing and for your advertising, right? And none of it's about the listing. All of it is about the humans that you help. And all of it is about why someone would pick you, showing up as human yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Anybody else? Any other ahas? Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Okay. I'm going to jump next to our social media strategies. And I want to say there's just a slide for that. We're going to jump to the next slide. Okay, so what I want you to do is inside your participation guide, you guys already know how often you should be posting. You also know the 80-20 principle. So I want to look at some more strategies for increasing your engagement across social media. So if you're like most people, you use social media every day, yes or no? Show of hands, mostly every day, sure. So you can think of it as your 365 touch system, right? Because you're on there every day, which means every day there's an opportunity for you to pop in there and connect with people. So what I want to know in your participation guide is what do you guys think are the top like platforms for social media? And I'm not looking at your participation guide, but I think it's in there. So are you guys seeing that? Do you guys have that participation guide with you? Does anyone have it up? No. Okay. Well, on this page in the presentation guide, there's a spot where it asks you, what do you think, what are the top, let's say 5 or top 10 social media platforms?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
What are some others? Brittany?
LinkedIn.
Did I hear you? LinkedIn, sure.
Twitter.
Twitter, yeah, that's a good one. It's funny, I didn't hear anyone say YouTube, which is curious because YouTube is the 2nd largest archivable search engine on Earth, just behind Google. They often change places actually throughout time. During the pandemic, YouTube was like way more popular as a search engine than Google was, which makes sense because everybody was looking about like how to do XYZ. I say that to you because I think that YouTube is one of those platforms that kind of gets slept on a little bit because we think about always having to create like videos of ourselves or be on video or on camera. I've got some really good ideas for how you can get around that drunk monkey on your shoulder and also let you know that you don't have to have your face on camera. It can be a static image with just a voiceover or words or anything really. But creating content on YouTube can also go directly to all the other places you guys mentioned, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels. All of those places can take YouTube, a YouTube content piece in smaller bite-sized pieces. So don't forget YouTube when you're thinking about platforms. Tell me if someone will, what's your favorite social media platform that you find content on?
Instagram, I feel, and also has more direct. You can find people.
Yep.
It's just a lot easier without having to scroll through like hundreds of posts or whatever, however many people have, their habits or whatever. I think Instagram is easy.
Laura, would you say, what's your favorite platform to post on?
Facebook. I have more family on Facebook, more people that I have like that personally know me, I guess, on Facebook. So.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing that Laura just brought up, and I'm sure some other people on the call are probably doing the same thing. Laura just said, my favorite place to consume content is Instagram, but the only place I post it is on Facebook.
I posted on my story on Instagram, which
goes away after 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine too. But if Laura, you're not a I wouldn't say you're so unique that there aren't other people like you. So if you were telling me I like to go to Instagram to receive all my content, I guarantee there are others like you that want to go to Instagram to receive their content too. And posting on stories doesn't allow you to show up in their feed for long enough, right? That makes sense. So in order for you to even see stories, right? Like you have to subscribe or follow. It doesn't just show up like, oh, here, watch these random stories. That doesn't really happen. It does sometimes on Facebook Reel, where you can just like reel through a bunch of random people you don't know. But on Instagram, if you want to see a story, typically they have to follow you, or you have to follow them. But what's different about being in someone's feed is you can still be in a contact feed without necessarily having to be like a subscriber or a follower. So I mentioned this to you guys. Don't forget that where you consume content is probably where all the other people who are like you are going to consume content. Does that make sense? And if that's the case, that's where you need to post content. All right, what are some ideas for social media that work for you or that you'd like to try? And there's some social media strategies here on this slide, which I think are really, really good. And we can talk through each of those you'd like to, but I'm curious what you guys are using now or what you've seen work that you'd like to try.
I think Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Well, I will tell you that for me, one of the things I'm looking at, I just wrote a blog series on this actually, as an emerging technology, is the use of AI chatbots and responders in social media, specifically Instagram. And the idea that AI is getting so good to the point that I want to implement some of that technology onto my Instagram page so that when clients reach out or when they want to message me or they want to connect with my content, they can get a lifelike response from these AI chatbots that have a whole interaction and then let me know when it's time for me to step in and say like, hi, it's Jeremiah, let's chat. Does that make sense? So as far as social media, that's one thing, if I'm allowed to be that way on this call, I would tell you like, that's something that I'm interested in. What other things are you guys interested in your businesses or in your social media? I'm gonna spend too long on it, but. Okay, how about a follow-up question? When you guys think about social media in your own business and the businesses that you've seen be really successful, where do you think those other people that have come before you, where have they found success? What have they done that looked successful to you or things that you want to mirror?
For me, it would be the consistency of it. Like I was licensed in California and I had an Instagram page for my California business, and I posted nothing personal, but I didn't realize that was supposed to be, we were supposed to be doing that, but it was all business and it just wasn't consistent. Okay. And so the consistency factor is something that I would want to and need to improve on across the board.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I post relatively regularly and I'm on a system. So I don't actually post anything, but the system posts for me. But my point there is I would even love to have more consistency around what I post outside of that system. So I hear you. Okay, so let's talk about it. Go ahead. I missed it.
And even engagement, like so if you do typically scroll through Instagram, you can switch on to that business page. Follow those same people that are on your regular Instagram and just like their post and then eventually post on that business page and just kind of jump back and forth.
Yeah. And I also think that we'll talk about this in a little bit, but the idea behind as we implement our social media strategies, also having systems that govern how we do it. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes and I'll go deeper when we get there. Okay. So strategy number one, highlight your business. I want you guys to think about, like, how do you provide information to someone who's not from the area that helps you show up as the expert? So think about hyper local information that only you as an insider expert in that area would know, and give that to people. We talk about using tech developments. I talked about AI chatbots just a few minutes ago, but that is not your only technological advantage. One advantage that I do not see a lot of agents taking full benefit from is the KW Consumer app. You all are aware you have a KW Consumer app, right? And that it's branded to you. Show of hands, how many people know that? Oh no, there's no hands going up. I can't.
I
actually...
do. I just
Okay.
set mine all up.
Oh, okay. So in case you didn't know, the KW Consumer Apps, which got a huge facelift about a year ago, allows you to do just a ton of stuff. But the biggest part of the biggest advantage of having the KW is it's branded to you and you only. This isn't like other real estate apps where you'll jump onto the app and your clients will hit the button to search for a real estate agent and they'll find anybody who might be available in the geographic area. The only name, face, contact information that they're ever going to see in that app is yours, and it's available through the iOS store and also through the Google Play Store. Remember that you can get your specific link for KW in the command console under the consumer area for URLs, and if you have problems or need help finding that, just send an email to asd@experiencebrokeragenetwork.com. It will help you work that out. It's really easy to do, I promise. Okay. And then the next strategy here, hiding risk, is post client testimonials. How many of you guys are posting client testimonials? I even go back a step further. How many of you are asking for testimonials from your clients that you can post on social media? Okay, so I'll tell you, go ahead.
But I got one, which was great. I guess I didn't want to like repost it on my social media because there was already that congratulations on the new homeowner, and then they reposted that, and then they gave me like a good review. And so
where did the review go?
It's on Facebook. It's still on their page, and I have it because she tagged me, so it's on my review page.
That is a 5 gold star review system that you just mentioned there. Having your clients review you and tag you is it is the equivalent to word of mouth recommendation. It's like she stood in the supermarket and said, hey, you have to talk to Laura. She's an amazing real estate agent. She got us a great deal. Like call her today. Except she screamed it in the supermarket to everybody who was in the store. That's the equivalent of what she did. So that is like, I would make no changes to that system. It's excellent. But did everybody hear that? So in case you didn't, Laura is asking her clients after they close to write a review of her service and post it on Facebook and then tag her in it. So it appears on their feed to all of their family and friends, the people that view their feed,
Beautiful.
and tagging her so that they can then go look for Laura on Facebook to find that great service. Tia, I see you trying to talk. Go ahead. Maybe not.
Oh, no, I was just saying that's perfect.
Yeah, no, super ideal. Okay. So let's talk about our next strategy, if my screen will change here, is don't post and ghost, right? So engagement creates engagement. How many of you guys will post something onto, I don't know, comment, a like, or share really anywhere on Facebook, and then that's it. That's all you do. We're all guilty of it, so it's okay. I mention it here because I think it's critically important that you know that once you post something that's original content, once you send it a DM, once you share something to your page, people are likely going to comment. People are going to like it. Don't forget to go back and re-engage with that. There was a study done, I want to say earlier this year, that basically led me to believe, based on the amount of content engagement, that like creating new original content doesn't matter as much as being able to comment, like, share, and give your perspective on other content that already exists. Like, you don't need more content. You just need to comment on the content that already exists. It's like creating comments is the new black, basically, right? So how do you guys do this? How would you achieve this don't ghost and post? Because if you're like me and you're busy, I mean, like, where am I supposed to find time to not only post things, but send DMs and like and share and comment and do else? When can I do that? How am I supposed to follow up on my social media things? When will I find the time? Any ideas?
Bathroom breaks.
How many of you right now on this call are time blocking for lead generation?
I was gonna say earlier, one thing that I learned over the last couple months is to make time to do that, because I'm very guilty of posting and ghosting, and I realize that I need to say, okay, from whatever 9 to 10 in the morning, whatever, I need to block that out for social media stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's the equivalent of client care and client follow-up, right? That's what you're doing. You're nurturing your social media, which is where future prospective clients find you, and you're doing the follow-up right there online. So if you do post something and just leave it alone and never touch it again, you are missing where they say, what does Gary say? The fortune is in the follow-up. You're missing the fortune. You did all the heavy lifting and all the work and you didn't get any benefit. That's not holding your time accountable. And I would say that if you were to explore shift, that's a shift tactic you're missing, right? Hold your money and your time accountable at least 4 times the return. So if you were going to take the effort to post something, then you would need to make sure you follow up on that post. The other thing I'll mention is Crystal LePron, who's our amazing regional tech trainer. She has a really good suggestion for social media about like what you create in terms of like designing something to go up to on social media. It's a 10-to-1 rule. You get to spend 10 minutes for every 1 minute that someone looks at something. So do you know what the average time someone looks at a post is? You guys have any idea? If it's good, it's about 15 seconds. So that means you shouldn't be spending any more than 2.5 minutes posting it. So when I mentioned that like origin, like original content creation, like it's really powerful. Like if you're going to spend 10 minutes, you need to make sure that you're following up on that information. Otherwise, the 10 minutes that you used there was completely wasted. And maybe that's traumatic. It was not the best use of your time. Okay, so in addition to not ghosting and posting, another strategy is to make sure that we're adding value. So I think Tia mentioned that I really want to change her online post, like dog trainer extraordinaire or something really cool, like a fun name to give her for her YouTube channel that she's going to start and start adding her dog training videos to so she can get more clients. But participating in online community is where you can offer unique value, right? Like a perspective that maybe didn't exist before. So when you guys think about Facebook groups and communities that you can offer value, give me some ideas of where you might show up. I'll give you a hint. Go back to your participation guide and look at your passions. When you look at your passions, I guarantee there's a group on Facebook that has something to do with that passion. There's probably 30 groups on Facebook in your area that have something to do with that passion. And if you are lucky enough to be in an area where there is not a group for something that you're passionate about that is also legal and doesn't harm other people, start it, because other people will join. When they join, you are now the owner of a group and you get to be the overriding voice of what happens there as well. Super powerful position, by the way. Okay, so highlight your business, don't post and ghost, and add value. What are your ahas? Well, that's not funny that we have to do this now, but sorry, someone keeps getting kicked out of the room here. All right, it's our first activity of the day on social media. So you're supposed to refer to your participation guide, but I had a show of hands showing that like mostly no one has it. So what I want you to do is I want you to go onto, like, we're going to take 3 minutes. I do mean 3 minutes. And we're going to locate an activity post, like something that's happening in your area on social media. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to like find a partner, and I will participate, right? And we're going to look at what's happening in that area, and we're going to create a post that you are going to post based on that activity. So if you need help, go back and review your passions. What are you passionate about? Make sure that we add an activity that makes sense with those passions, and then we're going to post on social media. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Jeremiah, I'm driving right now.
That's
so
okay.
I'm going to opt out of this activity.
You're okay. Drive safely.
Thank you.
I think it'd probably be easier if we just did other groups. So who's got an activity? And we will help you create a post. How's that sound? That's even more fun.
I love food and drinks and going out places. So
Okay.
The Bloody Mary Festival. I love Bloody Marys.
Okay. What do you love about Bloody Marys?
The versatile ways that you can infuse the vodkas, or that you can have different kinds of garnishments. Just the
Okay.
array from the most simple to the most like extravagant, it's a damn meal type of Bloody Mary.
Yes. So let's maybe craft a post. So find a photo find a photo of the event, right? Or just share it or tag it across, whichever makes sense to you. And here's what we're going to post. We're going to post something like the Bloody Mary, arguably the most versatile drink on earth, and also a full meal, ? Exclamation point. Comment your comments below. That's the entire post.
That's so simple and engaging.
Okay, we're gonna do another one because I actually like this. If you like Bloody Marys like I do, hashtag the most versatile drink, check out this event. Can't wait to see you guys there. Because what you're gonna do now is you're gonna use that event as a client event because you're gonna be there. That's post number 2.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Post number 3 is going to be a little more generic, and this can be used for anybody who finds any activity. And it's you're going to use your example still. Like, did you guys hear like news flash or Bloody Mary alert! Exclamation point. The Bloody Mary Festival is in town this week. Here's the times. Catch me there. Number 3. Okay, Lada, there's 3 posts. I'll be checking your feed later today.
Awesome,
I
thank
can
you.
see one of them. Okay, so in this exercise, what I was trying to highlight for y'all is the idea that your posts don't have to be complicated. And when you choose an activity, you can now turn it into either a client event or a lead generation opportunity, only because you're just mentioning that you're going to be there, right? And people who know you, like you, trust you, and also are magnetized to that same activity, they're already going to be there anyway. You might as well connect with people that are like you. Does that make sense? Okay, who's got another activity that they found on Facebook or on Instagram or on socials that they're interested in, or that follows their passions, that wants to share?
Jeremiah, along with the thought that I do so much gardening, there's been a lot of posts by this company that sells tulips up around Salem area.
Mm-hmm.
They've posted some beautiful photos of the tulip fields plus the balloon rides over, and they sell tickets to go to it. It's almost at the end of tulip season, but it was something that I could have capitalized on, and all I did was look at their wonderful pictures and let it fly. But that certainly could have been a good opportunity to.
Sure. Let's design a post for you. And I don't think that any opportunity is necessarily a missed or bad opportunity. It's just an opportunity to create something new, right? And with that mindset, I heard you say that tulip season is almost over. Are they still selling tickets? Is it still available to go?
I think so.
Okay, so maybe the post would be for you, Linda, like as a master gardener and fan of all plants, letting you know tulip season is almost over. Don't miss a chance to see these gorgeous flowers in bloom. I will be there on Saturday. See you there.
Okay.
Might that work?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you wanted to make it more of an event, remind them. On Friday, remind them, hey, just in case you missed my post earlier this week, tulip season ends X amount of time. I'm planning to be there on Saturday from sometime to sometime to enjoy these beautiful blossoms. Can't wait to see you there as well.
Okay.
You're going to go do it anyway, right, Linda? You're going to be there anyway. You're going to go enjoy nature anyway because you're passionate about it.
Well, interestingly, I am passing through there on the way back from Portland on Saturday afternoon.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Cool. Okay, let's talk more strategies. These are more, I think, tenets of what we're going to be looking at. So when you're thinking about posting on platforms, I mentioned this earlier, like being authentic is really, really important. And I had a mentor a long time ago because I wasn't always in sales, and mainly because I had this crazy fear that I was too salesy. And I still get that sometimes. People are like, oh, I would never say that. That's way too salesy. My mentor told me, he goes, do you think that you sound salesy? And I said, kinda, yeah. And he said, good, because you do. let's try again. And I want you to be convinced of this product or this service that you're providing and give it to me again. We did the exercise. And he goes, are you still being salesy? I said, no, I'm really passionate about this. I think this could change people's lives. And as a result, like, I want everyone to know, because it's really, really important. Like, we can't build generational wealth. Really, most people don't have access to build generational wealth outside of real estate. It's why I get so excited and passionate about sharing all that knowledge with people. And he said, yeah, that's not salesy. That's just authentic. That's you. So the takeaway from that was, if you think you're being inauthentic, whoever's on the other half of that conversation will also pick up on that. So I always encourage people the same way on social media. If it feels inauthentic, if it feels kind of like Instagram reality to you, right? Then it probably is. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? If you like it, I'm just mentioning that if it feels inauthentic to you, it will show up that way for others on social media. Don't do that. The next, I don't really love don'ts. So that says, don't be a jack of all trades. I actually encourage you to be the specialist. Don't show up as someone who is like everything to all people on social media. Because number one, that goes back to my point number one about being authentic. No one is a jack of all trades to everything. Everyone has unique passions, unique talents, unique skills. That makes you who you are. And that's who people want to get to know when they're thinking about trusting the most important or largest asset that they own in transaction in real estate. They want that person who's a real human, right? Again, not a robot. Okay, number 3. Embrace video. I told you guys that YouTube is the most slept on, I feel like, social platform kind of on earth, because most people have not considered making videos because they think they have to do like their face on the video. It doesn't. I'm going to give you a video tip right here to start your YouTube channel today. We talked earlier about how client reviews are a powerful way to transform and grow your business. Is that true? If that is also true, and you are uncomfortable maybe being on camera for the first time, how many of you have asked your clients to shoot a review video? It's a great way for you to show up with social proof. It's not your name and your face, and you're there with your client, guiding them through the process. I actually taught a 2-hour class on this in Eugene about a year ago. We'll probably do it again. I brought it to Southern Oregon as well. My point around that is that you can have an opportunity to engage with your client. They're offering you something of value at the same time that you get to spend more time with them and get to know them better. And it provides this massive boost for your social media because video ranks higher than any other content. Don't be afraid of it. Jump in both feet. And also a reminder that when you first start doing video, it's going to be terrible. It's okay. It's okay. It's always terrible at first. You have to learn how to be better at it. Even the most, like the highest paid influencers, if you look at their earlier videos, they are full cringe. Seriously, it's not great. Accept that it's not going to be great. Do not read the comments, and practice getting better. Is that fair? Okay. The next number 4 down there is using analytics to help optimize your posts. So both on social media and Instagram, they both, if you're in a creator account or if you're in a Facebook professional account, they actually have analytic modules that will let you see how well your posts are doing. So you can see how many people view this. You can see how many people are engaging with it, how often it gets reshared. But even if that seems a little daunting or it seems like too much to jump into, if you guys run your ads through Command, your social media ads, your social media campaigns and content posted through social media posts through Command, you're aware that we have an abbreviated dashboard inside of Command that will show you how many people clicked on it, how many people passed through to go to your website, and if it's an ad, how many leads were generated from that ad. So those are 3 great metrics to know if your posts are optimized for content consumption. All right, number 5, arguably my favorite, is ask for help. I think you'd be surprised, or maybe not surprised, by how many people who work in the social media space, and especially social media marketing space, would love for you to reach out to them and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I would love to do this thing. What are your thoughts? I can guarantee they'd all love to collaborate with you. You know why? It's the same thing I said about video earlier. Everybody's videos suck when they first start. It's just the nature of the game. You get better because you practice more often. And people who have done it before tend to have a soft spot for those who are just starting out because they remember, because it probably wasn't that long ago. It was probably 6 months ago they started. They remember what that felt like to be like a little bit overwhelmed, right? A little bit nervous about what content without and unsure about what to do next. And so being able to show up as that person and provide assistance, it feels good. right? When you ask for help, it makes the other people feel good about they're giving something of value to you. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, so let's recap. We talked today about our 10-5-1 strategy, right? We talked about our 80-20 principle. We also talked about the strategies that we're going to use to make sure that we stay consistent and that we stay high level value for our clients on social media around not ghosting and posting, highlighting your business and adding value. I would like to hear about ahas. What are your ahas from today? It says there's no slides, but
To just not overthink it and really, you know, like don't be fake, but definitely, oh, ¿cómo se dice en inglés? Like you go to the party and just rub the elbows. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you know, just don't overthink it, and just, I guess that whole idea of like have it be something quick, polite, you know, engaging. And
yeah. I want to be sure that I'm nailing this, like I'm really nailing this down for you guys too, is that like all of this is learned behavior, meaning everyone on this call can do it at least the level that I'm doing it at least the level that these influencers are doing. You guys are fully capable of doing this. So I want to leave you with like really positive encouragement on this part. Everybody started at the beginning and then got better, which means that you can too. And the more you practice each thing, the better that you'll get at all of it. As an example, like I didn't always start with an opportunity mindset around social media. And now when I look around, if someone mentions something, it's all I can see. But that took practicing that skill over and over again. And like I said, I know if I can do it, you guys can do it too. I'm not gifted at this. So any other ahas?
I guess for me, it's just kind of, I'm on Facebook. I'll do a post for a special occasion and then I'll, you know, post and ghost like we talked about. And for me, it's just a matter of, you know, just realizing that I have to engage more, realizing that I have to pay more attention to it. I guess for me, it's always just been a side thing and I need to pay attention to it like anything else.
Sure. I would venture, Corey, that if we developed and implemented or executed a system in your business that included social media as a standalone part of your lead generation platform, I think you would find yourself more engaged with it that way. A lot of times, the biggest deterrent from starting is feeling like there's too many things to do. So I would encourage you to keep it small and pick one thing, right? Like 10-5-1, totally achievable. Pick a platform. You don't have to do it on all platforms. Pick a platform. Do it on Instagram, do it on Facebook, do it on Twitter, wherever. I think Twitter's kind of harder. Even I struggle with Twitter because I like lots of words and they limit how many words you're allowed to use. And so that for me is, I think, a little bit harder. But like pick a platform, implement 10-5-1, the 80-20 principle on that platform. Once you have achieved a level of mastery there that feels like you can continue doing that with very little additional effort, then add a platform. What you'll find is that your ability to add the second platform is much easier because the mindset and the practices that you have on the first platform immediately transfer to the second platform, right? So it's not like when you have like a child and then you add a child and it becomes like multiple children squared. It's like, it's just 1 + 1. You're just adding one. I have 2 small children. And so that's how I feel about my kids. They're like, have another. We're like, yay. It was like it was a logarithmic change in our activity level. It was not just like we had 1 child. No, it was like having 3 other children. It's
like times 10. Yeah. That's
yes. Thank you. Yeah. But it's not that way with social media. I don't know why we said that, or this is all recorded. Yay. So it's not that way with social media. Once you have mastered the mindset, the things you learned to make that a success will immediately transfer to your second platform. It will seem very doable.
Okay. Well, and so that leads me to a question though.
Yep.
Because I'm on social media so little, and right now I'm legacy status, so I'm still in that kind of nether region before practicing. But how do I start upping my social media participation, I guess is the word, without it seeming like I'm trying, like I'm trying to, oh, you're just doing this because you want to get business. You're not doing this because you genuinely want to be connecting with people. It just, I don't want it to seem like I'm up to something.
I mean, are you?
Well, I mean, I guess technically I am. I want to get business, so.
Well, so I guess what I would tell you, Corey, is first of all, you're in legacy status. So if that is true, then having any conversation about real estate is actually, you signed an agreement not to do that. So don't do that. Don't have real estate conversations, right? So I would say that works to your advantage in a big way, right? Because you can't have real estate conversations, it means the only conversations you should be focused on right now are your personal ones. And I don't know anyone who doesn't want to find a way to know other people better via social media. So I think it's a huge advantage, right? Like some people think obstacle, I think huge advantage, because you now don't have to worry about the business part of your social media right now. The only thing you need to focus on is your personal. So look at your list of your passions, Corey. And I feel like you were on a call with me once before about this same thing, and you had some interesting ones. And what I would tell you is look at that list of passions and start today. Do one thing. Join one group for each passion that you have on your list. It's a list of 5, right? Your top 5. Join one group on Facebook or one group on Instagram that interests you about that passion. Start there. What you'll find is you can begin adding content or commentary, which people like to do. Add commentary to posts that are in those Facebook groups, and people will get to know you that way too. You can then start adding like content on that platform, whatever the platform is, around you personally. And it can be anything. That's the thing I think I would focus on, those passions, like photos and captions and content on those passions, because that keeps it squarely in your life. But I think it could be really anything, right? Like, what do you do during a day, Corey? I guarantee there's someone who wants to know, right? What do you do that's interesting that you think many people wouldn't know about you?
Well, I used to be a coach and a teacher.
Okay.
Right now I'm a dad.
You have a 21-month-old, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, in my mind, I think like that's something that's interesting about you. There are other dads who have 21-month-olds, right? There are other dads with small children. Might you connect with other dads around the experience of being a dad in today's world, which I mean, arguably is quite crazy, and I won't go down too far down that rabbit hole. But I mean, having children in this current age has its own set of like stuff, yeah, especially at that age group. What is the stuff that is fun and interesting about this age group? It's like a built-in, like your child, not exploitatively, but your child's like a built-in reminder of things that we experienced as younger people that we forget is still interesting to others. So like your kids are taking their first steps, they're eating their first things. Like that could be a whole series of posts if you wanted. Like first with my kid, right? The first time they have spaghetti. The first time they fall off a bike. I would name it a series like stuff I didn't do as a kid, right? Because they have all these things that they do now. I mean, they're required. I don't know why, but I was thinking about my kids right now in this moment, and it's not a good example. I apologize, but it is an example, right, of things that they do now that when I was a kid we didn't do as a posting option. My child is in kindergarten, and he does like on-site active shooter drills in his classrooms, which is very like, it seems very terrible. It's very heavy, but it made with like my child talks about those drills as being like, he calls it hide and seek. They play hide and seek in their class. Did you guys get to play hide and seek in your class?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking me as a former teacher, not as
well, there's a great perspective I don't have. You're a former teacher, and
Yeah.
this is something that I, as a dad, am saying I didn't have that when I was a kid. That's interesting. Who knew? I might have stayed, in class and paid more attention.
Okay.
Either way, people want to hear about your unique perspective, and that's where I'd focus my time. And so everything that happens in your life is your personal perspective. So it's fuel for content on social media. Okay. So I'm supposed to ask these 4 questions. How has your thinking changed? And what ideas or mindsets to you are new? How are you feeling differently? What was really I like this question a lot, actually. What was meaningful for you guys today?
Understanding that I should just be able to post what I'm doing locally and in the community.
Yeah.
Have that tie into my business rather than having it more business based. I follow a few people that I've known from previous sales jobs I've had that are now in real estate, and 2 of them are quite successful. So I'm going to mirror part of my posting, kind of how they do it.
I love that. So the next question is how will your behaviors be different moving forward, and what actions are you going to take moving forward? You guys kind of already answered these as we were talking through, but I'm interested to hear again. And I'm also going to take us off of this presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably ignored a bunch of people in the chat. Let's see what the chat said. That's always fun. Ooh, foodie pages. Yes. Yep. Personality. Love that. Yep. Okay. What tools or models or systems do you either need or are you going to implement to make more success for capturing social media leads? And how will they make you accountable? Well, let's ask an easier question. What systems are you using now?
Time blocking.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Aren't any of you guys using a command to run social media anything yet? Okay. I highly recommend it because your social media ad sets that you run out of command, I hope I said this already. I said it to somebody else already today. When you run an ad out of social media, or excuse me, an ad out of command, you're already compliant. We have a partnership with Facebook as an example for special housing categories. So when you list a new listing or when you're marketing really anything as a real estate agent, you do have to qualify under a certain category of advertising. And so we have some special rules. And our relationship with Facebook has made it easier for us now not to have to worry about that. So as an agent, you don't have to worry if you're doing the right thing, if you're posting in the right area. It's already taken care of. It's built into the system, which is kind of nice. Number 2, especially for Facebook, for Meta, is that whenever you run an ad there and you use their learn more button and you let the Facebook form do the filling, it auto fills information from that person's profile. So they have to literally manually delete it to get it out of there, right? Which means that once they hit learn more, it auto fills and they hit go to learn more. All of that information, so their name, their email address, and their phone number automatically get dumped into command as a lead for you. So running an ad is seamlessly integrated now to command. So when you're thinking about like, I run an ad, I got a lead, you can now reach out to that person and call them. Better yet, jump on one of our smart plan calls and learn how to add a smart plan to your social media lead follow-up. So as soon as someone clicks learn more, an email goes out to their inbox that says, hey, it's Jeremiah from Ashland Neighborhood Homes. We're super excited that you've clicked on our Facebook ad link. It lets us know that we're doing a good job of providing great marketing advertising for our listings, as well as engaging with the community around us. One of our agents will be reaching out shortly. They're very excited to get to know you and learn more about your goals and dreams in the real estate space. Until then, enjoy a copy of our ebook that talks all about what it's like to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the Portland metro area. Excited to connect soon. That email goes out as soon as someone clicks the button on my social media ads, by the way. And what happens then is that I get a prompt that says a new lead came in, and I already have the information, so I know to just call them. I know they already got the email. I don't have to wonder. I know they already got the email. So when I call, what do you think that call is like? It's like super organic. Hey, it's Jeremiah calling from Ashland Neighborhood Homes. I was just following up on the email that we sent you a few minutes ago. Again, a huge thank you for clicking on that ad and letting us know that we're doing a good job of reaching out to our community. Did you have any questions about that? Or I'd love to learn more about what your goals are in real estate in 2023 and beyond. Might that be an opportunity for you to create more appointments and gain more clients? Everybody say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a system, right? And I mentioned a bunch of tools. So a smart plan is a tool. The lead gen form on Facebook is a tool. And by the way, that's already built in to the social media campaign app in command. You don't have to do anything. It's already there. You just tell it to use that one. But those are some systems that will help you generate more leads and also keep you in front of prospective clients. And I say that because does anyone know, by show of hands, how much time do you have between the time a social media lead comes in and you have to answer or follow up with them in person?
Not very long.
It's under 5 minutes. I actually belong to a couple of online social media platforms that like aggregate leads to a specific place that aren't command based. And I would tell you, I've lost leads in 15 seconds. If they're part of a service, like if they're calling, let's say the big real estate company that's not a real estate company that runs the Billo, their service is a good example of how if you get an inbound call because there's a lead, if someone else in that group gets that call before you, like you miss out. Y'all pay the same price though. That's funny. We don't do that anymore. Well, for your own application, we were buying our own leads. So it was kind of, we were buying our own client information. It was just silly. Okay, so we've got a lot of time actually, but we've got about 30 minutes left in our time together. And I want to open it up to any questions around social media, systems, models, technology that will help you capture more leads with social media. That's what I'd like to do. So who has questions? Did I answer every question you ever had? Wow.
I have a question, Jeremiah.
Hi, Wiwi. How are you? Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
I missed the class a little bit.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
okay.
I have actually have first-time home buyer seminars coming up that I'm doing.
Okay.
So how do I tagline it on my personal social media, Facebook and Instagram? I want it to be sounds like just kind of like inviting them, just hang out and kind of like.
Is it in person or
more,
via Zoom?
It's in person.
Okay.
It's at the office in person with another 3 agents, and my husband's a lender, so it's gonna be there. But I already did it on my business, which would make it look like it's professional and things like that. But I want to, in my personal, I want to invite my people who is more like just chill and kind of like relax and just come when you want. Like I already posted my story because it's next week, but I want to post it like the regular post where I want people to just come in, and because I want to put like a regular just picture with like just me and my husband, kind of just just selfie pictures or things like that, but not like not too businessy.
Okay.
What's the tagline do you think I should use?
Do you have a picture of you and your husband together, like in a selfie?
Well, I'm gonna do that. It's kind of easy. We just like.
Oh, I'm just saying, if you have one on your
gonna...
phone, I'm making it easy. If you have one on your phone, just a nice one. I would say the caption would be something like, yeah, y'all know how much I love hanging with this guy, like, and then to the little point, like the up arrow, hanging with this guy. I can't wait to spend more time with him at our home buyer seminar this Saturday from sub time to sub time. Like, stay tuned for details. Whatever the time and date is of where it is, like check out, or even better, check out my business profile page for all the deets.
Okay, because I was gonna post the link of the Eventbrite too in there.
Yeah, I would
or
not,
should I? Do you think?
I wouldn't post the Eventbrite link inside the post on your personal page for this event. I would actually send them to your business page to do the other thing. And then on your personal page, I would probably include a couple more posts leading up. Like one of the things I love is like when you're setting up for the event, is to take a photo of you and your hubby, like setting up for a powerful hour. Like, can't wait to see all of these who want to come, who have time to swing by and hang out with us. We're excited to see you. Like, so that would be on my personal page too about this event. But on the event page, like, or it's not event page, but on my business page, it would have like, here's the event, it's coming up. Like, don't miss a chance to grab all this really, really important and powerful information to stay ahead of the curve in our ever-changing industry, right? Like, stay ahead of the curve, right? And then the next one is like, if you have an RSVP, there's still time. Like, we'll see you at this time on this date, blah, 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 blah. And then like T-minus 2 hours until like data explosion or something. I don't know. I'm kind of weird and fun on social media, so it works for me, but it may not work for you. My recommendation is like, just make sure you're reminding people like often about events, because you can't remind them once. It's the equivalent of posting and ghosting. You can't remind them once about an event and then just be like, oh, no one showed up. Well, you didn't tell them the day before, you didn't tell them a week before, you didn't tell them 2 hours before, you didn't tell them 10 minutes before, and you didn't provide them a link where they can get all the information. I guarantee that's the feedback you'll get. I didn't know where to go. Oh, I only posted on my social media like 6 times and there was an Eventbrite link. But yeah, no, I understand. You didn't know what to do. I'm just saying, like, you have to really guide people through the process.
So actually post it more. I'm sorry. Like early. Post it like a couple times, like more, like, should I do it like every day, kind of like, 6 more days or 5 more days, like that? No,
every day is too much unless you're doing a separate thing each day, right? Like,
I was gonna do like a real,
if you had
a regular post and a real, like mixing it up a little bit.
if you had like maybe like 6 tenets of successful real estate deals that you're going to cover at this event, you might do that and post a sneak peek of each one every single day. Like make sure you come to the full version, you know, here on Friday at 4 p.m. or whatever. So yeah, but on your personal page, keep it feeling behind the scenes and like Uber cut, almost like tacky photos, like almost, you know what I mean? Like almost like there's no filter. No filter. We didn't spend a lot of time on caption. This is not about selling you business. It's just about letting you know that we want to provide a lot of value. Okay, there was a sorry, there's another question in the chat. The question was, how would we manage posting in multiple languages? Super fun question. Are you asking, and I hope is it Abby? Yeah, are you asking whether or not you want to post in multiple languages? Or are you asking, do you need help posting in multiple languages? Or like ... I have kind of an answer for each thing. Thank you, good to see you or hear you. Okay, so Abby, I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can here. If you're posting in multiple languages, I think it's a reminder that language is cultural. And so as you're thinking about how you post, that changes what you post, right? So I can't speak for every culture on earth, but I can speak as an English speaker. The way that we think about how we communicate is based in how we relate to each other. So there are going to be things that you say that are going to be included in like the way that we behave, and that's going to be different for each. When you post in multiple languages, I'm a fan of having separate pages, or posting in groups where like there's a language change, because then it keeps like who you are there in that space. I'm not saying that you want to be 2 separate people. For clarity, you're one whole person, but remember that the audience that you're going to be engaging with in language 1 versus the audience that you will engage with in language 2 are likely not going to be a lot of the same people. If they are, great, but it's unlikely they'll be the same person. Just like you're aware that you can't say the same thing and have it directly translated into most languages and mean the same thing. So as a reminder, I would say start in the language that you feel most comfortable in and create a post, and then create another one that is similar or has similar feelings with the new language. So create one where you're most comfortable, and then thank you, Linda. It's good to see you. Create one language you're most comfortable within, right? And then use that as a template for creating the other one. Is that clear as mud? I'm sorry, that was a lot of like language 1 and 2. Yeah, separate accounts for each language to me makes a lot of sense. And the people that I've seen do this really well at a high level, that's what they've done. And you do have some crossover. There are some people that are on both, right? But I think about like my wife and I speak Japanese, and I think the people who I would speak Japanese with would be a very different group of people. They are not people who are also English speakers in my world. And even if they do speak English, they would probably not go to my English speaking page. They would go to the other. I don't have a separate page, but I'm just saying if I had separate pages, those people would not interact together very often. So that's why I would encourage you to like choose the language that you're most comfortable with and makes the most sense, and then create the other one to go along with it. So you're engaging with both audiences. Not in a like, don't split yourself in half, but like you're all, but I think that that's where you get to show up in that separate criteria, if that makes sense. Okay. I think I talked that one to death. What other questions do we have? Otherwise, I just have to sit here on this call for 20 minutes by myself.
So I have a question.
Yeah, Stephanie, shoot.
You were saying in Command that there's a way to, I guess, link the Facebook, and then I don't understand how to do that. And how is there something to learn how to do that? And now I saw you smile and you're like, oh yay, I can learn how to do something.
You can. Yes, you can. Okay. So in Command, you can link both your personal Facebook page, which for clarity is only for organic posts that are non-ad. So non-ad related postings at Facebook. You can also link your Facebook business page, which is only for ads. So you cannot run an ad on a personal page. And while you can run a post on a Facebook business page, you probably like, you would and you wouldn't. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I would say load both. run your ads. And that's the way that I didn't always do it that way, by the way, but I run most of my ads are just for Facebook business. I don't run a bunch of other posts through there unless it's something that's really good and I really like. I'll post it there too. Otherwise, most of it goes on my personal page, and then I will share it across if I need to. But I don't share the other way. I don't share from business to personal much. I got some really great advice about that that's really worked, and the advice was stop doing that. So I did. Okay. Inside of your command console, when you open up the dashboard in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see like your initials. It's like your profile circle. If you click there and drop down to settings, when the settings panel opens up for you, about halfway down, there's a spot for you to integrate or to log into both your Facebook business page and also your Facebook personal page. Thank you, Caitlin. Thanks for being on the call. So when you connect them there, then you'll be able to use all the other features in campaigns. So either posting or ad set. Does that make sense, or was that too fast?
I think I can follow that. And if I have any questions, I'll reach out.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
What other questions, or can we design some posts for you guys today? That'd be fun too. Okay, so I'll ask a question. When you guys think about this class as a whole, based on what we covered, what should we add? Or what should we omit? Or where should we spend more time? No one has any ideas?
I recently found out about Chat AI or Chat GPT, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, it's like, I guess for newer agents who like I love hearing you talk. I love listening to you talk because I mean, sometimes you do come off a little salesy, but it's so natural. And then the more that the more that I know you, that's who you are. You're just full of knowledge and you just want to get it out there. And so sometimes some of us don't know how to speak like that. And so I feel like even that Chat GPT enables us to, it could even help us create our own scripts or, like learn the language as we read it and be able for us to have more practice, because we can't just be like, so how would you say it, Jeremiah? We can go to that. So what would Jeremiah do?
Yeah, that'd be funny. It would be like a cautionary tale of maybe what not to do. ChatGPT is really powerful. I actually just wrote, like I said, a blog series on emerging technology. AI was one that was mentioned, and ChatGPT is one of my favorites. There's also Mindvalley and a couple of others that are really good kind of AI tools that you might use. And I think a reminder that like it is just a tool, right? It's really like the language models are really good at helping you understand, but it's only as good as I guess you are. And so one of the things I'll mention with ChatGPT is that in order to get the most value out of that, you want to make sure that you're prompting it appropriately. And I think everyone on this call is getting an email from the XBN Leverage Division. We send out an email once a week. It's called TC Talks, and it's actually all about like how transaction management can be useful in your business and create more leverage for you to have more success. And grow your business. But part of the conversations for those are like things that we see that we know that add value. So I think next week we're releasing like the top 3 myths about, what TCs are and what they aren't. But then after that, that technology series starts. And so you're going to see like our top prompts, like our favorite prompts for getting the most out of your business and our favorite tools that you can use in terms of AI to help you kind of like learn the things that you want to change your business for the better. So Tia had a thing. I want to just make sure I say it on the recording in case she watches this back. Tia had asked about like more specifics around the timing and like when you should be posting things. You want to catch people in my opinion. And I think this was echoed on our State of the Industry today by none other than Miss Holly Priestner, who's like outstanding. I'm like always in shock and awe of her. She's amazing. But between 8 and 9 a.m. Is when you want like those social media, like post, likes, comments, and the engagement part of what you're doing during the day to happen. And then from 4 to 5 p.m., right, is like kind of like on their way when they're kind of in the car and they're in a space where they're going to be consuming social media. I say that to you because like when you're engaging with people in that 10-5-1 way, like that's those timeframes that I would use. As far as your posting schedule, I probably would post like in early morning, so before 8 or 9. So when people are actually active on social media as they're getting ready for their day, your post is already up. I also like to post between like 11 and 1, because that's typically when people are at lunch. They'll check their social media again there. And then I wouldn't really put anything on social media after about 3 o'clock, because you're going to fall into this window or the space of time. Just like I never send an email after 2 p.m. if it's like information, because they're going to fall in this window where like that's not going to get checked. Right? Like I dare you to send an email that's supposed to be an advertisement at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I guarantee when you look at the open rate, you'll have like less than 1% open rate. And because what happens is it falls into this like abyss of emails that like I didn't check before I left the office. And then when I come in the next day, I'm just looking for the most pertinent stuff. So I ignored all the other stuff that was advertisement. Everybody does it. It's pretty normal. So I say that to you because if you really want engagement for like the email part of that, you want to put that in part of the day where it makes sense. So put that at your 11 o'clock slot, like send your email advertisements at 11, because they're going to go to lunch and then they'll come back and they'll see it and be like, oh, what is this new email in my inbox? How fun, right? But at 4 p.m., no one wants to look at new emails. They're ignoring them. They're just trying to finish their day and get out the door. So as a reminder, like that's just some statistical stuff to help you, I think. Hopefully that will help you. What other questions? What other things would be really useful for you guys in this class? Okay, I don't have to keep you guys on the call. You guys are welcome to drop off as you need to. I will hang out for about 5 or 10 more minutes. In case if anyone wants to wait and ask some more questions, I'm totally good with that. Outside of that, thank you guys so much for taking this time with me today. I really enjoyed it. I hopefully that came across that I'm very passionate about this topic and making sure that all of our agents have access to high level value in building and scaling their business. Please let me know if there's any way that myself or our division can help you do that. And looking forward to like seeing you guys next time. Thank you.